Hey guys, welcome to Devtech Finance, and here's another video on the Demat account. So in this video we would try to understand what exactly the Demat account means and why is it necessary to hold a Demat account if you want to trade in the securities in the stock market. So let's get started. Let's get started with the basic introduction of the Demat account. So, Demat account is actually a short form for the dematerialized account. Dematerialization is the process of converting physical records of investment into electronic records. So try to understand earlier when you purchased shares, when you do the trading in the shares, you were holding the shares in the physical form. Now with the change in the technology, with the changing time, the transaction process has been changed. So everything has been converted into electronic form with the help of the internet. So the earlier share certificates were issued on purchase of shares, which is now converted into electronic form. So all your records are now recorded, all your records are now at stored in an electronic form in your Demat account. So whether you have made any purchase, whether you have sold any share, what was your transaction number, all the details is there present in an electronic form in your Demat account. So this provides you a convenience to have a track on all your transactions being done. It is thus similar to your bank account, because in bank account you are having information of all your debit balances, your credit balances, how much balance you are holding in your bank account. So all those informations to whom you have transacted with. Similar in that manner, the only difference is that here you are dealing in the shares, here you are dealing in the securities in the stock market. So all the information related to the shares you are holding will be there. Every shareholder should have a Demat account for the purpose of trading in securities in the stock market. So you should have a Demat account if you want to trade in securities. Access to the Demat account requires a login ID and password. So whenever you would be going to open a Demat account with a bank or any broker firm, so you would be provided with the login ID and password, which you would use every time you want to do the transaction, you want to check out your transaction details. Now let us understand how does it function, the basic functioning of these accounts. So whenever you wanted to trade in the shares, you wanted to trade in the stock market, three of the account is very important which you should have. So first one is the trade bank account, your bank account in which you are holding your account, and then you should have the trading account. Trading account provides you the facility of trading in the shares, facility of trading in the securities, and then you should have a Demat account, and the Demat account is where your shares are deposited, where you can electronically visualize all your records of the transaction, all your records of the purchase and sales of shares being done. So what trading account facilitates is the transactions of the shares. So whether you are buying or selling of shares, it would be recorded in the trading account. It would be mentioned in the trading account. So when you purchase shares, the amount will be deducted from your bank account. And in the similar way, if you are selling your shares, so the amount will be deposited, because by selling the shares to another party you are receiving some amount, you are receiving the value of that share at that market price. So that value would be converted and deposited in your bank account, to which the trading account is linked. The same way, when you were purchasing the share, you have to pay something, you have to pay the respective value of the shares to purchase it, and that was deducted from your bank account. So both the trading account and bank account is linked so that this transaction could be facilitated. Now, what happens in the Demat account? So, when Demat account is exactly the electronic presence of the unit of shares which you are holding. So, whenever you are purchasing shares, whatever numbers, so there are units, like you are purchasing shares, say 10 units, 100 units, 1000 units, whatever units you are purchasing, that is the details is recorded in your Demat account. All the shares which you have purchased is deposited over there. In the same way, when you are selling, the shares are transferred from Demat account to trading account. And all these things facilitates in the stock market. Your trading is thus done through various means. You're trading in the shares of the stock market. So these three accounts were important. You should have the trading account, bank account, and demat account. So if you are, it would be quite feasible if you are holding your demat account with the same bank in which you are having your savings account for the less complicated transaction process, because anyways you are having the facility of having the saving account in another bank and opening the trading and demat account with any brokerage firm or any other bank. It's provided, but it would be advisable, it would be feasible if you are holding all the three accounts with the same bank, so that the transaction process could be done in the lesser period of time and there would be no delays and less complexity. Now let us understand how the opening of Demat account takes place. So Demat account, as I said, is just like a bank account that helps you keep track of all share transactions. In order to trade in securities, investors must fill in DRF, which is available with the depository participants. Now you are provided with a form. If you went to any bank or the broker's firm where you wanted to open your demat account, so you are first provided with demat request form which you have to fill. And who are the depository participants? So these depository participants are actually the banks or could be the private broker firms which would facilitate your opening of demat accounts, your transaction and trading in the stock market. So the brokers firm could be a full service brokers or discount brokers. Now the banks could be, any bank like ICICI, SDFC, SBI Bank, and these private and some private broker firms are like Sharekhan, Zerodha, Upstocks, where you can open your account. So this also has been classified into two parts, that is full service brokers and discount brokers. So full service broker would be, for example, the Motilal Oswal or Sher Khan. These provide you full service. So when you are holding your demat account or trading account with these firms, they provide you full service in the sense they would help you, guide you to make the trading purpose. They would provide you continuous information, be in contact with you. And the discount brokers, for example the Zerodha or Upstocks, so there you would be charged less. Whether I talk about the brokerage charge or the account opening charge, it would be less as compared to the full service brokers or as compared to the banks. So this is the minimal difference in all these three, where you have to compare between the charges, because always there are three kind of charges involved in demat account: the account opening charge, the yearly maintenance charge, and the brokerage charge. And you also have to look out for the credibility in which you are going to hold your account, because always trading in stock market and securities involves some kind of risk. So before choosing, you need to go through the profile of the companies, profile of the banks, whether it is providing a good reputed position in the services or not. So continuing with the previous slides, let's see what are the document required. So the documents required would be PAN card, Aadhaar card, your passbook check or bank account statement, and passport size photos. A basic necessities to open any account. You would be having all those things if you are going to open your demat or trading account. Charges involved in demat accounts. As I said, there would be three kind of charges involved: your account opening charge, your yearly maintenance charge of that demat account, and the brokerage charge. So these charges could range between, I say, 100 to up to whatever, depends on the private company or the bank, it's the policies, so that charges would vary. You could compare the charges and you could decide on the minimal cost form, which would cost you lesser to open your demat account, which would cost you lesser in the brokerage charges and the maintenance charges. You can make a comparison between them. Every security has an ISIN, that is International Securities Identification Number, and a separate DRF must be filled for every ISIN. So when you are trading in securities, it's not necessary that you would be trading in a single security. So if you are like say if you are trading in different securities, you need to have you would be provided with different ISIN, that is different numbers of those securities, and you need to fill another form for that. Demat accounts are maintained by NSDL, that is National Securities Depository Limited, and CDSL, that is Central Depository Services Limited. And the banks act as a custodian and intermediary to facilitate trading in stock. So what banks are doing, banks or any brokerage firms, what they are doing, they are acting as a custodian, they are acting as a intermediary or agent to facilitate your trading in the stock. So they would be charging some amount for them also, for their service also. At last what happens, it goes to the NSDL or CDSL, which acts as a mandatory for your trading in the securities. So either your bank could be in collaboration with NSDL or could be in collaboration with CDSL. The information would be provided when you would be going to open your Demat account over there. Now let us make a comparison on the basis of the advantages and disadvantages of having a DMAT system as compared to the earlier physical system. So advantages are like it is an easy and convenient way to hold securities, less complexities because reduced paperwork. Earlier it was you would be holding a physical form, you would be holding the shares in the physical form, so there was a lot of paperwork involved. Now it has been reduced because it has all been converted into electronic form, so you can keep a track with your phone, your with a phone or your laptop. Just you need to have an internet connection. It ensures that the transfer settlements and reduces delay in registration of shares. It ensures faster communication to investors and faster payment on sale of shares. So everything has been faster because of the change forms, the digitalization, the electronic form. Now you can make your transactions easier in a faster ways without any delays. Earlier you have to move from one to another to facilitate all these trading purposes. It ensures greater profit due to increase in volume of trading. So also it ensures greater profit convenient because of the convenient provided. More and more customers, investors comes to trade in the securities in the stock market by opening their account, and thus it ensures a greater profit in the market. Some disadvantages could be like the role of the key market players like the stockbrokers need to be supervised as they have the capability of manipulating the market. So many a times the brokers are involved in all these things. So not all the brokers, but some brokers could try to manipulate the market because they are having the information about the market. So they could try to gain their percentage and not look out for your value. So this kind of insecurity is also there, which can be overcome by having an account with some trustable, recognized, reputed entities, so that no, there would be less chances of defaults and your money could be secured. Multiple regulatory frameworks have to be conformed to, including the Depositories Act regulations. And these, because of these several regulatory frameworks which has to be followed, many details which has to be provided every time you have to assign the depository firm the entitlement, because you provide them the entitlement to trade in your shares. So these things somewhere would lead you to doubt on the ownership of the shares, but it is actually mandatory. You need to provide the entitlement because you are dealing through the banks, through the brokerage firms. So if they want to trade in your shares, whatever shares you are holding, they would be they should be having the entitlement because they have to show all these through the regulatory frameworks above them. Agreements are entered at various levels in the process of dematerialization. These may cause worries to the investors desirous of simplicity. So In one way, we can say that it has made the process simpler by converting it from physical form to electronic form, but it has also been a little bit complex because the investors are not well informed. So if the facilities are simpler to understand, easier to use, it becomes more convenient. So thank you for watching. I hope you understand what exactly Demat account is and how it is opened, how it works. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching Dave Take Finance. Do like and share my videos. Subscribe to my channel. Thank you all.